Mooney.
Here.
Dr. Katie Emerson-Haas. Mr. Barringer.
Thank you. Ms. Trees, you're on. Thank you, Ms. Trees, for your service to the district and everything that you do.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of May 10th and May 24th. Moved by Mr. Mooney, second by Mr. Wells. Any discussion? None being heard, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Student rep report.
Hi, so this is my last Board of Ed meeting, so hi. We had prom last weekend for the first time since 2019, and it was a junior-senior mixed event at the Chateau, and it went really well. We had our varsity and scholarship award ceremony last Thursday, and our community gave out over $170,000 worth of scholarships. We're currently doing our Chromebook collection, and if you haven't dropped yours off, if you have one, please drop it off at the high school at your earliest convenience. Regents exams will start tomorrow, and the schedule is posted on all the school websites. And finally, our graduation is next Friday, June 24th at 6 o'clock. We have alternative plans in case there is rain, and we will have a parade at 8 p.m. afterwards, just like we did last year, and Mr. Reed's encouraging everyone to decorate your cars. Thank you.
Carolyn, we have a gift certificate for you for your service to the board.
All right.
Wow, there's a lot of awards and congratulations going on tonight. We have 3 board members leaving us, 2 of whom I see here, and we have some tokens for you. Dr. Haas. And Ms. Mascal.
He's somewhere around the building right now trying to make his way in.
I will explain some time ago. Mr. Ursig, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you for joining us tonight, everybody. We wanted to honor our retirees and tenure staff after a couple of years with COVID and not being able to do this. So starting with the retirees first, we have Mr. Tom Averill. Ms. Anagata. Ms. Janet Golnick. Sharon Greth. Lisa Kopasinski. Ms. Deborah Littlefield. David Miller. Marisa Trees. Mr. Andy Vanderpool. Anne-Marie Viviani. And Peggy Wagner. Now for those that have earned tenure over the past couple of years and who are in attendance, Ms. Tina Barber. Ms. Hufnagel. Ms. Brenda Igo. Next we have Dr. Lisa Jane Kapler. Next we have Celeste Lugazetsky. Robin McDonald. Peggy Mullen. Next we have Alan Meyer. Next we have Kelly Petremall. Elizabeth Russo. Teresa Tucker. And lastly, Ginger Bale. And see Ms. Trees in attendance, so if she would come up. And I also see Mr.
I see that Mr. Van Schack has walked in, so I'd like to give him his award this time for his board of service. And I'll turn it over to our Vice President of the Ulster County School Boards Association, Mr. Mooney.
Good evening. First off, to everybody retiring, congratulations. I wish you much love and envy on your new journey as you embark and you start to live life. Those of you that just received tenure as well, this is the greatest profession there is. I enjoyed it. Right now, I'd like to honor Mike Lotterat. So, a few years ago, March 13th, it was a Friday, everybody's world kind of changed in education. And, Mike is one of these guys that's he flies under the radar. He's very quiet, but he always has a smile. He's always there to talk to. And as a board, we felt that he was the person of the year to honor at the Ulster County School Boards Association Friend of Education dinner. So I would like to read to you what was written for Mr. Lotterat. Sorry. So Mike is being recognized by the Saugerties Board of Education and the Saugerties community for his endless support and devotion to the students and staff of the Saugerties Central School District. His devotion to the students is unwavering. Throughout the pandemic, Mike's dedication to Saugerties Central School District was immeasurable. As head custodian for the district, he had the monumental responsibility coordinating with maintenance and administration to ensure that the buildings and facilities were safe to open for our students. His dedication to ensuring a safe environment allowed schools to reopen and students to return to in-person learning. Mike is always available to unlock doors to allow our sports teams or participants in student-led activities access to facilities and equipment. He's highly visible at all school events. Mike, the mayor, leads blue. Mike is a silent hero. He does not go above and beyond for the attention or the accolades. He does it because it's just who he is. It's an honor for me to represent the Saugerties School Board, to present the award to Mr. Lotterat. So Mr. Lotterat, if you could please come forward. I know it's not you, but please do. He doesn't want to give a speech. Thank you.
But thank you, everybody.
I also see that Ms. Debbie Nuzzo is in attendance tonight. She's one of our retirees as well.
We're going to move into public recognition. Any member of the public wishing to address the board, please approach the podium, state your name and residence, and feel free to comment on items on the agenda tonight.
My name is Ian Leverich. I'm at 505 West Saugerties Road. I didn't realize this was kind of such a joyous meeting, so what I came here to speak about is kind of a buzzkill. But first, I want to thank the board and the administration. You know, you navigated a really, some treacherous waters this year, and you guys did it with grace. Faced some really difficult decisions, a pandemic, and I'm sure it was really a lot to carry. And congratulations to all the retirees and those who got tenure as well. I corresponded with Mr. Reinhardt last month, but in light of the recent massacres in Uvalde and all over the country, I came to voice tonight my concerns about the security of our buildings, particularly the elementary schools, which are far more remote and without a permanent police officer on site. It's revolting that we should have to think about these things, and it's not fair for the burden to fall on our local leaders. But this is where we are, and there is not a more important issue. So excuse me for being a wet blanket tonight, but I'm sure I'm not the only parent who would like there to be an officer on every campus. If resources do not permit that, there are surely measures on the margins that could be considerable difference makers. For example, the report from Sandy Hook and the Sandy Hook Commission recommended that doors be locked from the inside. Quote, the commission cannot emphasize enough the importance of this recommendation. The doors in this building have to be locked by a key from the outside. I understand the safety committee meets twice a year in October and March. To me, that doesn't strike me as very often. I'm curious if they met after the Uvalde incident. Will they meet before September when schools reopen? Is there anything to learn from this carnage that we can maybe make our plan better and make our students safer? It's a horrific thing to have to drop your kid off in the morning and feel the way a lot of us do. And I certainly know that everybody here and everybody's heart is in the right place, and I've never questioned anybody's intentions, but I just want to make sure that safety is continually on the radar, and we are revisiting our plan often, and just trying to make it as best we can. And finally, I just wanted to, and I told Mr. Reinhardt this in my email, but I wanted to acknowledge the warmth and the fortitude that the teachers, administrators, and staff at Grantee Morris exhibited in the days immediately after Uvalde. There were a lot of shaken parents, and I'm sure students as well, but they didn't flinch. I mean, it was really remarkable. The Morris faculty and staff are a treasure in this district, and they were a tremendous comfort to parents like me, and I just wanted to publicly relay that. So thank you very much, and I'm sorry we can get on with the positive festivities now, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Superintendent's remarks.
Good evening and thank you. Just want to give a couple quick updates to the board. As far as the repurposing of Mount Marion, as you know, we have the 5 universal pre-K classes going in there, hoping for those inspections to happen in July. I think we had 78 registers the last we knew. We are set with the St. Mary's St. Joseph's after-school program, which will run till 6 o'clock there. And we're really excited about that. We're in the final stages of the BOCES contract. They hope to be in July 15th. We're excited about that. And we've also been in conversations with Anderson School about having two of Anderson's pre-K classes over there as well. So that building will be full next year. So we're really excited about that. And I want to thank Jane and Lisa and Marlene for all their work on making those programs happen. A little bit about a couple of comments about the voting. Absentee ballots, there's about 400 that we mail out to the districts. About 137 were received. Back to the 4 polling places, the 4 schools, there were 0 duplicate votes. Affidavit ballots, 62 were received, 55 were considered to be valid based on the County Board of Elections. And it was within the 4, 5 of them were not counted as they were duplicate votes. 5 district residents voted affidavit and in person. Total affidavit count was 50. I do want to take a moment to thank the board members that are this is their last board meeting. I agree that it's been a very busy 3 years with a lot of things happening, the capital project, the pandemic, restructuring of the district. I've been in this business 34 years, worked with a lot of school boards, and your unwavering support and your vision that the only thing mattered is what's best for students. And I know sometimes that puts you in a bad light in the community, but all three of you are amazing people, and the community should be very thankful that the amount of time and energy, because I know I'm up a lot and they're answering my emails, so I apologize for those ones you guys get from me, but the community is very, very lucky to have you. I want to thank Carolyn. She took off on us again. I'm sure she's studying. We're very fortunate. I mean, as you guys know, I love having students on all of our committees and all of our programs. Their insights and their vision and their input is so important to what we do. And she was wonderful. I already asked Tim who he's going to have for next year, and I said it had to be as good as Caroline. So she was an amazing gift to us and really kept us informed of what's happening in the building. Special thanks to all our retirees. I kind of concur with Jim. Good luck, congratulations. I'm sure it crosses a lot of our minds a lot of time. To the tenured people, when I was a high school principal and I would give the tenure letter, tenure isn't granted, tenure is earned. So you've earned the right to due process, you've earned the right to the greatest job in the world, which is to take care of our children. I'm glad that the safety comments were brought up. Just so everybody knows, Friday morning, the 24th at 9 o'clock, myself and Chief Sinagra will be on the, he has a radio station. We will talk about school safety. As part of the capital project, you do know that we are redoing all of the vestibules within our buildings, so we're really excited about that. Anybody who knows me knows how much I value safety. I replan again. On my previous position, we had 47 exit doors. So, I feel very good about our plan. I agree, our plans can always be revised. We are happy that the monthly county safety meetings are back in person again. Anybody who wants to be on the safety committee, please be part of that. We know how important that is, and I agree. Safety, if you look at our 3 district goals, safety is one of them. So any questions the board has for me? Thank you.
Capital project?
Good evening. Wanted to share a update on the capital improvement project, the energy performance project, as well as the capital outlay project. So this slide probably looks familiar to you from throughout the project presentations we've done. Tonight we'll talk about a little bit of, we're in a few different phases as outlined on this slide. So with the capital project, where are we? What are some of the next steps? So some good news, we've awarded and we're moving forward with the roofing contract to S&L. They're actually now under contract. They've been doing submittals. I was actually talking with some of the district admin team before this meeting about some of the roof colors, for instance. So that's moving forward. As far as some of the construction opportunities this calendar year, probably the most fruitful one will be potential resurfacing of the track at this site, looking at probably in the fall, September, October timeframe. That's something we're working on, again, with the district team to figure out how that can happen. And that would certainly benefit folks using the track, especially come springtime. Looking at the Moore's Stage Edition, as you recall, we made a collective decision to pull that out of the previous SED submission. The rest of the project does not have to go to SED again. However, the stage piece at Morris does. So that's being repackaged as we speak. We know that's a high priority scope item. It's very important cornerstone of the capital project to achieve. So that's looking to go to SED next month in July. And then from there, we do have to pretty much concurrently apply with the State Department of, let me get my acronyms right, Department of State for New York State, the code variance, because there's a building code variance that needs to happen there for that addition. And then that'll ultimately get merged back into the larger rebid package, roughly the beginning of next calendar year here. So some of the rebid considerations that we've been discussing as a team and with the admin as we move forward with that is really reevaluating the scope. Unfortunately, not all the scope will be able to be achieved, so it's really finding the things that make the most sense, have the highest need. Looking at some of the prime contracts that would need to be awarded. Maybe there's ways to handle them in a different manner than were originally planned, so that it attracts bidder interest and hopefully gets the district the best value. Looking at the timing of that rebid, when would that happen? Again, to try to make the most opportune bid time of the bid climate. We know that because of SED considerations, we got out late this year. Again, usually the January, February timeframe are the most ideal for that. Looking at bid alternates, trying to restructure the packages so that there could be even more bid alternates in there as budget protection, and if bids are favorable, you can award more scope of work. Also looking at different funding sources that we may be able to take some pieces of that project and find other ways to get them done. What might be the most conducive way that benefits the district. And then really just looking at overall the project finances to make sure that, again, when the work has to happen, that's not going to put the district financially in a bad position. So those are conversations we've been having with the district's financial consultant. I don't know, Jeff, do you have anything else on that one you want to add? All right. So what does some of this look like in a scheduled form? So we've updated the schedule here. I've started to call some of these phases just for my mind so I could sort them out a little bit. So looking at that top one is really the roofing work. So that's been awarded, submittals are underway, and there is the potential that some of that work, not all of it, but some of it might happen this fall. Otherwise, really looking at next calendar year to get that work accomplished. The next one down, phase 1B, as I've sort of deemed it, was potential track resurfacing work. So again, between submittals and getting that work done, looking towards the end of this calendar year of 22. The Morse addition, again, getting that into SED, getting that approval, and then incorporating it back into the bid set towards the end of the calendar year, so it's ready as part of what I put at the bottom there, that phase 2, which is really the rebid piece. So as we work with the administrative team to sort that out, and then looking at construction, pushing out a couple of summers. And again, we've worked with the district's financial consultants to make sure that that's doable and isn't going to create some sort of hardship. For the energy performance contract, that project, construction again is underway. That's ongoing. The Riccardi boiler replacement and the abatement that needs to happen as part of that is actually happening within the next week or two, if I'm recalling correctly. So that's great news. That work is definitely moving forward. As we talked about before, there's some scope overlap with the main capital project, so that's something we're working with Honeywell as the energy services company to sort out so that the district gets the best value for our work. If there's some duplication, we can offset it and bring value back into the project. And that is looking to wrap up construction towards the end of this calendar year with closeout the end of this 22, early 23 timeframe. For the capital outlay project for this past year, unfortunately, there was no bids received when we put the project out. So we met today with some of the district admin team to discuss potential options and ways that can be handled. A couple of different scenarios, which I'll need to contact SED just to get their buy-in on a couple of potential options there. And then we'll regroup and figure out what makes the most sense so that the district gets the most bang for the buck out of that. So what you're seeing for the schedule at the moment is kind of the tentative here. That one's a little more subject to change.
Is that common? Lack of bidder interest?
It's really not that common. It's really not that common, but it is something we're seeing more and more in the current climate. We have school projects that are ongoing. We have schools that have taken some of that work underway already. Some contractors are already lined up. And just kind of in talking with it, we had 97 contractors we had contacted for the work. We had people that went through the pre-bid walkthrough and got 0 bids. And so we've had discussions with probably about 24 of those contractors to kind of ferret out what they were seeing. And some of that's just, hey, we've got work that's ongoing already. And some of it's kind of an aspect where we could probably break out the scope a little bit. And instead of assigning it to, say, one general contractor, apply it to a couple contractors, and they have more opportunity for the next go around.
Yeah, I think on that one I'd also add it's an unfortunate sign of the times at the moment, just with that kind of perfect storm of all these things happening at once, and we're doing what we can to try to mitigate it, as Jeff mentioned. So trying to find ways to move forward. Any other questions?
You mentioned resurfacing the track. I see Mr. Averill in the background. There was a big controversy with the last capital project that the track was built with 6 lanes and you couldn't host meets with, you needed 8 lanes. Was there any discussion about expanding the width of the track to include 8 lanes?
So in early design, there was some conversation about it, but it was ultimately deemed that to work with the existing structure, because the cost of reconstructing the track to add the extra lanes, plus SED requires kind of a bonus lane, if you will, on the outside, was just going to be very expensive, cost prohibitive. So it's not considered at the time. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move into board member remarks. Mr. Van Schaaf.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to apologize for being late, but I took my wife to her birthday dinner, so that comes first. Anyway, I want to thank the retirees and congratulate them on retiring. I got maybe 3 years behind you, so maybe I'll catch up. All those who are tenured, thank you. This is a great school district to be in. And last, I want to just thank the administration, all the administrators, and my fellow Board of Education members for a great time and a wonderful opportunity to serve for 6 years. This has been a wonderful board. There's been times where we disagreed, but we did so respectfully. And I hope that the new board members come on will continue with that continuity of having, real discussions and finding real answers. So again, thank you for voters who voted me in for 2 times around, and I'll still be around for a little while. Thank you.
I have some remarks. You want me to?
Sure.
Do them? I actually wrote them down this time.
So it is great to have a crowd here, and I'm so glad it's sort of a joyous crowd and not a feeding frenzy. Under any conditions, I'm always glad when there's a crowd. To the gentleman who spoke about and felt bad about bringing the really the massacre that is occurring across the country in schools and with kids. It's our job to be able to manage the grief and the joy that all of life brings us, and in a school district it's no different. And so I appreciate you for bringing it up and not sort of saying, okay, this is a joyous time, and so I don't want to bring the bad, because I think that's one of the things that we've actually been able to do as a board, is to be able to manage those difficult discussions. So the words that I have highlighted here are love, gratitude, joy, civil, and vote. So I'm going to read. I love this work. There may be things I haven't liked, but I've loved working with others. Loved help building a stronger system for teaching and learning. And that is imperfect for sure, but they always are, because we are imperfect beings in an imperfect world. But this is a stronger, more responsive and effective system than it was when I joined. The district has stronger, clearer, more confident and compassionate leadership at all levels. I have worked for this by focusing on my own behavior, because that's the only behavior I can change. And I've made every effort to be what I want the district to be: responsive, transparent, engaged, and informed. That said, I'm under no illusion that I'm responsible for these changes in any way on my own, which brings me to thanks and the deep gratitude I feel. Gratitude to those who trusted me enough to give me one of the most valuable things we have in a civil society, their vote. And I was elected twice with two of you. It was fabulous running together, because you're next on my list. Elena and Paul, my sort of sister and brother trustees. And it has really been a pleasure to get to know you and serve with you. Bob, I want to thank you for your effective board leadership, your persistence, your mentorship, and the long ago partnership and conversations that where we had an eye on bringing the district to this place, so thank you. Krista's not here, but she was my first board buddy, because that's what we do. We give you a buddy when you get on the board to help you through all of this. And then other board members, I've learned so much from you and our work together. We have lived and demonstrated that we are stronger together and because of our diversity. The newest board members, thank you for stepping up. And you have received your own votes. And remember that the deal with public service is just that. Your primary duty is to serve the public, not just part of the public. And that is one thing that makes governing significantly different from running. We may not see this nationally, but it is important to understand that it is what keeps our civil society strong, and more immediately is what helps this body more effectively serve all the children and families of this district. So thank you for bringing yourselves to the conversation and the work ahead. And thank you, Kirk, and the governance team you have built. It's really validation of using a competency-based approach to hiring, and I'm thrilled of that. And it's really helped me and us reach our goals in serving on the board. My goal in running was to help move the district to be one that was more focused on engaged teaching and learning, which is imperfect, remember. Wanting to work toward a district where we could look at data together, solve problems together, and have more avenues for community connection. We have grown in all of those areas, and I'm so, so grateful. But also to grapple with uncertainty. We never could have imagined the pandemic. I am so, so eternally grateful that we had the leadership in place that we did when it hit. March 13th, 2020 was my daughter's 16th birthday, and so she has had most of her high school career in a pandemic. And I believe that we've saved lives and did better than many districts did during unprecedented times. So, joy. I was so glad Carolyn mentioned the prom. It was just a joyful time for those who were there, and I know some people, there's always, it's hard because it's not something that touches and supports all kids, but the joy and relief and immense pleasure was just in Seaman Park on Saturday was a delight, and I'm so grateful having a daughter who is in that group. And I applaud everyone who's responsible for the prom, because I know it wasn't easy. So I look forward to supporting the work from the other side of the microphone, because I know that's what helps us be better at what we do, is hearing from the public. Public engagement in the civil structures we have built in this country. That means these meetings, coming to these meetings, the slew of other meetings. There are so many ways to be involved in this district without like committing your whole life to running for the board. Diversity, town halls, safety committee, building district teams, board and district committees, the PTA. Please have your voice heard and listen to others. Continue to work to strengthen the district together. Those who choose innuendo, misinformation, bullying, especially online, only want us to be a part which makes them stronger. It does not make the district or the children and family we serve stronger at all. So vote. Early voting begins June 18th to the 26th. There's a primary election on the 28th. I encourage you, I'm sorry she's not here to tell her to get all of her 18-year-old friends to vote. There are no off years. All elections matter. So with that, thank you very, very much.
Thanks, Bob. I'm actually glad this is the last time I'm in. So I think that tonight's a really good example of how the last 6 years have been. You know, you have a wonderful ceremony and then someone comes up and talks about something that stops everyone in their tracks. I think a lot's happened since we got on the board in 2016, and I lost my paper again. And I think it's a great example of how things, there are two sides, there are 10 sides to everything that happens when you're here on this side of the table. I also think that what Dr. Haas said, I echo, you know, everything that she said. She always has a very eloquent way of speaking. I'm appreciative for everyone's patience, and I feel fortunate to have been elected. This has been a really awesome learning experience for me. I actually work in another school district. My husband teaches in a separate school district, and when I was approached to run, I thought, well, you know, I work in a district, I know a lot about that one, I know a lot about where my husband works, but I don't know anything about where my own kids go to school. So I took the time and the responsibility to learn, and it has not disappointed me. Very appreciative. I know that that's kind of my theme. I really thank the superintendent. I thank the administrative team, the sports staff, the transportation staff, the district office staff, the food service staff, the maintenance staff, the custodians, the teachers, the volunteers. You know, so many people go into making this school run every single day. And I think it's really important that they all get the accolades they deserve, because they do the hard work and we have to make the hard decisions. So I'm very appreciative to everyone for that. Very thankful to my fellow board members. These are a group of very caring, very educated people. They care a lot about what goes on every single day. I can't say that I'm going to be sorry not to be on that text string anymore. Because sometimes when your phone blows up and it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, you're like, oh, what is it now? But I have learned so much, and I can't express how much everyone here really cares about what goes on. And I'm happy that this is my last board meeting. Probably never seen me smile this much. But I'm also happy because of the work that we've done and the work that we've accomplished together. I feel like we made so many changes, and they were all really great. Every single one was for the better. A lot of them were difficult, and a lot of them were very time-consuming and required a lot of learning, but in the end, it all ended up in a good place. So I am thankful. I know that Mr. Vanderpool left, but I have to tell you this story. that Mr. Vanderpool actually taught my husband. It was one of his first years teaching. And the interesting thing was that my oldest son had Mr. Vanderpool as well a couple years ago. And Mr. Vanderpool pulled out my husband's Regents exam test score and said to my son, well, this is what your father got, you better start studying so that you can beat him. And that's the caliber of people that we have here. You know, we have people that really care about each other. We have families that leave and come back because everyone here cares so much about each other. And I'm fortunate to have both of my kids go to school through here. Not done yet, so unfortunately I won't be going away for a little bit. But I look forward to working with you all, continuing to work with you. I'm available if anyone ever needs anything. And I just really want to express my thanks to everyone today. So thank you.
Mr. Welch?
Before I get into the glowing area over there, give me a minute here. I wanted to just kind of touch on a few things that Caroline actually mentioned. $147,000 in scholarships, which I think is pretty amazing. And I actually got to be a part of one of those up at Mullins, and I think they raised somewhere around $50,000 at that one, if I'm not mistaken. Peg, I know you're here, right? Yeah, for Andrew Mullins. And it was just a really, really awesome way to see the community kind of come together, and these kids running around, and everybody smiling and having a good time. So it was really, really awesome to see that, and thank you guys for doing that. Retirees, congratulations. I unfortunately am not as close to Mr. Mooney or Mr. Vanderbeck or Van Schack, but congratulations on that, and to the tenure staff, congratulations also. Repurposing Mount Marion, you talked on that when we were standing up here, Kirk. I think that's pretty awesome that we're looking at it's already going to be fully booked at this point. That was kind of our vision when we kind of took on this daunting task, so to speak. And it's really amazing to see the opportunity that we're going to give other kids beyond just what we can offer right now. So I think that's really, really great for the district. And then Paul's wife, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I hope you had a good dinner. Now I'll get into you guys. Paul, Elena, Katie, thank you guys for all the service you guys have given this board. 6 years, many late night board meetings, committee meetings, emails, texts, reading through agendas, working with stakeholders, and so much more that I probably didn't even realize until I stepped foot on this board. A lot of each of your personal time given to push to make this district a better place for our students, our faculty, and our staff. So kudos to you guys on that. You've all made difficult and unpopular decisions along the way. You know, ones that have caused public backlash that's not always the easiest to deal with. But you made decisions that were needed, and you dealt with them very gracefully from what I've seen in my 2 years here. I cannot say that I knew the state of the board of the district 6 years ago as I do today. What I can say is I do believe that you are leaving it all in a better place than when you started. It has been a real honor to be able to be on the same board as each of you. I've been humbled to a certain extent by the amount of knowledge that each of you have brought to the board in your own ways. Just so everyone knows, the knowledge and experience that is stepping away from this board is crazy. It's immense. Like, it's just a crazy amount of knowledge over there in their own ways. They all have it in a different aspect as well. And I think that's kind of what's made this board so awesome to be a part of. The respect that each of you conveyed towards me as the new guy, so to speak, even when we didn't agree, and that does happen, we do not agree sometimes, even when we didn't agree, has been amazing. Without knowing it, each of you has made me a better person and probably changed my perspective on some things along the way as well. I've really been blessed to work with each of you on this board, and will miss the dynamic that each of you brought. You've taught me so much along the way that over my first 2 years here. I wish you all the best, and I know that most of you guys are doing something beyond the board, and I wish you guys the best in that endeavor as well. I know, as Bob would say, he's typically, you know, you can collect your back pay on the way out of, I guess, in your retirement, right, Bob? Just kidding. But really, all that you guys gave, you know, you guys, it's pretty awesome. And I didn't really realize it until I stepped on this board. And then Paul, I'll even let you be the one to make the motion to end the meeting tonight.
I make a motion. Mr. McClure?
I'll try not to repeat too much this evening, but congratulations to all the retirees. That's a great step in everyone's life. You work towards that and enjoy it. And the people that receive tenure, I've got to say, there's no small jobs, as Katie mentioned, as we're going through this. It takes everybody in the district. To me, there's no job that's not as important as the other. And tonight's a lot about appreciation. And we did talk about something. I give the gentleman credit for bringing it up. That's been something we've talked about in the past and have addressed. But like I said, all these conversations aren't always pleasant, but it's what makes the board function, through the good and the bad. On our board members going out, I really appreciate all your time personally. I know we've all spent many hours past when we hoped the meeting would get over. That's changed a lot, and I think in the last 6 years, to a lot of credit to the new administration and the team that's been put in place, we've seen an immense change, more than I think anyone expected. And so I got to say, that's got to be really satisfying for you guys to be going out on a good note as opposed to not so much. But really appreciate you guys, and appreciate all the staff that put the time in. It's not an easy job, as we all know. Some days are really great, and other days you're wondering, what am I doing here? But at the end of the day, we all look forward to the next week's graduation. So thank you, everybody.
Mrs. Gage, are you looking to speak?
I'm going to speak. Is that okay? Save the best for last.
There you go.
Yes, I know Ian's still here. Thank you for speaking tonight. Those hard things are hard to speak about, but our children's safety is number one. And I say that's before education. We need to keep them safe. And what's happened in the last 10 years in schools it's just devastating and heartbreaking, and we need to stop it. So we do need to talk about those things. Lotto, if you're still here, you so deserve that award. Thank you for all you did to keep our schools open during the pandemic. And you like to say, right under the radar, but you do such a great job. Superintendent Reinhardt, thank you for the update on Mount Marion. It's going to be great repurposing with our pre-K, the BOCES, possibly Anderson, and our special ed offices will be moving over there also. So it's going to be a very busy place, and it's one of the things we worked on as a board, so I'm so happy to see that. Let's see, to tenure people, congrats on earning tenure. That's, as Mr. Superintendent Reinhardt said, you don't get it, you earn it. And now it's 4 years, it's even harder, and kudos to you for that. To all the retirees over the last 3 years, you made it, especially the ones this year. I know the other ones have been out for a couple of years. All your hard work and all your hours and all the things you did for our students, I thank you for that. But it's a great place to be when you hit that retirement area. So welcome to the club. And the Board of Ed members, thank you for your commitment to our district. I know it's not always an easy job. I know at one meeting, Elena had made a comment about it being like the hardest job she did for free or something, but it is a hard job at times. And coming out of the district, I know many of you were not sure where I stood with our past administration, and I hope that you have realized that I got on the board for some really important reasons and changes that we have made. It was my ability to continue being involved in education. So I thank you all, the tenured people, the retirees, and our board members for your commitment to our kids. That's why we're all here. We're all here for our kids. Congrats to our upcoming grads. I cannot be at graduation this year, but congratulations to all those people. So and have a great night to all our people that received recognition.
Might as well. I'll keep it sweet. The word tonight that kind of comes to mind is change. Since I've been on the board a little longer, and it's always interesting when new people come on and people leave.
You get used to working with people, you get used to the dynamic, the relationships, and then you have to forge new relationships, and it's changed. You know, I look forward to it, and you know, I hope that, you know, it's a very positive experience. As echoed, you know, previously, we are losing a really solid foundation for education with these board members leaving. We are losing, you know, hundreds of years of experience with people retiring. My kids have gone through this district since kindergarten, and I want to take this opportunity to thank all of their teachers and the principals and the guidance staff, the custodians, everybody. You made their journey successful, as you have other kids, and I thank you for it. The last thing I'm going to mention is the prom. For the last 2 years, I'm a teacher as well, and we've kind of, you know, been held hostage by the masks, by the mandates, by the vaccines, and you know, they're there to protect us, and I understand that, and I'm very fortunate for that. But I think for the first time this past weekend, I saw the seniors. They had a blast. They had fun, and it was nice.
Yeah.
It was really endearing to see these kids just be kids, and I would like to. And I know I'm going to miss people, so I'm just going to, you know, mention the PTA, Mr. Reed, Ms. Steinmeier, everybody that was involved with the prom. Thank you for making it a night that our kids will remember for the rest of their lives. Thank you.
Wow, what a tough act to follow. This is, I was taking some notes, and one of the things I wrote down was a new beginning. For years and years on the board, I've asked that we do a celebration of people retiring, tenure. Mr. Ersick, thank you for your efforts tonight. What I would like to see for next year is that we can't meet in this room, we have to meet in the auditorium, because around April or May, we're going to be giving out tenure to those people who earned it. We're going to recognize those people who retired. We're going to recognize those people who've worked 5, 10, 15, 20 years in the district, and celebrate that, because we need to celebrate the hard work and effort that goes into our buildings. But this is a good start. I'm not complaining, I'm just setting a vision for you. Not that we evaluate you or anything like that. But I think this is great that we've done this tonight. As far as Mr. Leverage, I agree. I'm concerned about safety, and I was thinking back, I don't know who remembers, but we almost had an incident of a mass shooting at Saugerties High School. It was stopped because somebody saw something, some students were concerned, and they went to a teacher. That teacher went to administration, who brought in the school resource officer, and a tragedy was stopped. The biggest thing in keeping schools safe is to prevent tragedies. It's great to gather and talk after a tragedy's happened somewhere else, but you feel kind of helpless then. So I would reemphasize, know that Mr. Reinhardt and Chief Sinagra meet on a regular basis. The board is appraised. We can't reveal every safety plan that's in place, because that would give somebody with bad intent knowledge of what the weaknesses are in the district. But again, those of you who are parents, if you're concerned because of something you see on social media, let the administration know. If it turns out to be nothing, no harm, no foul. But if it turns out something that saves lives, that's great. If it turns out that you didn't report it and tragedy happens, you'll never be able to live with yourself again. You guys leaving the board, wow. It's, I remember, Dr. Haas, it was probably like 13, 14 years ago that we met in Jen Mangione's dining room to talk about putting somebody to run for the board, which unfortunately happened to be me.
Thank you.
It was a time when if you went to there were crowds at board meetings, because board members would often scream at parents that were in attendance and argue. There would be fist hitting the table. And we thought the culture had to change. And because of Dr. Haas's support, I ran for the board and I got on. And I wanted to thank you for that. But then you also came on, which made it even better. Paul, I think I met you socially. I think we had a drink at the Lazy Swan, which is now closed to great regret. But we talked and I got to know Paul, and I saw this is a guy who's committed to his community. He's a volunteer firefighter. He's an IBMer. He's the kind of guy you would want on your side if you needed something. He would do anything for you. His lovely wife Cheryl, hopefully she'll tell us. Ask her how old she is at the break today. But we thank you for your birthday and celebrate that. A rock solid, great guy. And in our discussions, Paul chose to run for the board, to be on for 2 terms, and I'm glad he did. Elena, I wasn't sure. I didn't really meet Elena until she got on the board. I wasn't quite sure who she was. There was this buzz that this woman is going to run for the board. She works in Red Hook, and I didn't know what to expect. But as soon as she got on the board, she began to yell at me. I felt right at home. It was like we knew each other for years. So it worked out. But like you brought a lot of expertise from your home district. I wish you well. I know you're going back to school to study to be a librarian. That's great. Yes. Never stop learning. And I'm going to miss each of you guys. I feel like we've established a connection, and you'll always be part of me. You'll be part of me in my heart. There's a special place for each of you. And come back, visit often, but please don't complain. So with that, thank you all for coming out tonight. We're going to take a short break. There's some refreshments. I think Mr. Ursa will serve you a cup of coffee if you're interested. And thanks for being here tonight.
Could all the board members please return to the table, please?
I go way over. I 3/4 of the way.
Okay, I'd like to break with protocol before we reconvene. I would ask that Taylor and Jerry please stand up. Without these two ladies, all the awards and the gifts would not be possible. I want to thank them for organizing this. If you guys would please come forward. Ms. Maskell, more silent heroes.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You're welcome, thank you.
Is Taylor hiding?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good job, thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to approve items H, 1 and 2. Moved by Mrs. Gage, is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Wells. Any discussion? None being heard? Oh, sorry, Ms. Maskell?
Sorry. Is there any cancellation, provisions with the trip if anything happens and, something bad were to happen, like the world were closed down again or something like that? Is there any provisions for the families that are going that they can, maybe get money back or something like that?
I'll find out.
Okay, thanks.
Any other discussion? None being heard, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Personnel, instructional, entertain motion for items J, 1, 2, 1 and 2.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Mooney, is there a second? Second by Mr. Van Schack. Any discussion? None being heard, I'll call for a vote. All those in say aye. Favor say aye.
Aye.
Entertain a motion for item 3, appointments. Moved by Mrs. Gage. Second by Mr. Mooney. Any discussion? None being heard, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Congratulations.
Congratulations to those who are here. Item 4, appointment to tenure. I will call for a motion. Motion by Ms. Maskell, second by Mr. Van Schack. Any discussion? None being heard, I will call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those of you who received tenure, please stand up. Kelly, we have some gifts and awards for you.
The card on fire. It's an award. The card on fire. This is the keys.
Keys and cards.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We got this.
We're going to get you a pot of flowers next meeting, Mr. Ersick. Entertain a motion for item K, personnel non-instructional, items 1 and 2 and 3.
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Haas, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Mooney. Any discussion? Ms. Gill?
I'm going to go out of order here. Sorry about that. I can do it because I'm not coming back. I wanted to say, but we went too fast. There's some retirements that are not now, but they're in the next coming years that were on the agenda that they're going to be huge losses to the district. And I speak for all of them, and I appreciate all of them, but Mr. Wickham, who's here, I think somewhere, it's probably in the back, and Mrs. Kelder, not now, but when they do retire, they did put their letters in, so that's a huge congratulations, but loss also. So I just wanted to note that. Thanks, Bob.
Any other discussion? None being heard, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Business office recommendations, items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Motion, Ms. Maskell? Second? Second. Second by Mr. Wells. Discussion? None being heard, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Board action discussion items. Items M1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm sorry, I'll go stop at 9 because 10 is a discussion item. Moved by Mrs. Gage, second by Ms. Maskell. Any discussion? None being heard, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yes.
I just want to, as you can see, every board meeting since probably for about a year now, we've had multiple policy first reads and second read. So I just really want to thank Dr. Haas for, that's a lot of work. And I feel really good about the processes we have in place, that we're getting the policies, we're revising them, we're getting input from the stakeholders, we're getting to the board for a first read, and we're getting to the board for a second read. So I know that's a lot of work, and I really appreciate that.
And while you've got the floor, Mr. Reinhardt, do you want to refresh everybody's memory about the video conferencing discussion?
Sure. So as of June 9th, the virtual board meetings has been lifted. So the state did put out an option to continue with virtual meetings, but there are a lot of stipulations. So I just wanted the board to have another discussion so we can come up with a decision and a resolution that can be on the July board meeting. As you know, Mr. Ursi can correct me, we're still required to have five people in person, and there has to be a reason listed why you are remote. So I just wanted the board to continue that conversation so we can have something for a vote in July.
Yeah, I would like to go with what we have in place right now. That's my personal feeling, so that somebody, for pressing reasons, if you have to attend remotely, you just put your location in, because otherwise it becomes a little cumbersome if we go to the new system.
I agree. I think if you go to the new system, there's a lot more provisions. If you live stream the meeting, you have to live stream the meeting. You have to allow the person that's attending remotely to be able to speak back and forth. And if you give them that option, you have to give the option to everyone else that attends the meeting. So it opens up a lot of, it opens up a lot of potential for meetings. I think if you do live stream, you also have to have that transcript of the meeting, which, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it used to take me hours to transcribe those after the meetings were over. So it is a lot of work, and I think that the way that we do it is fine. And it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So what's that? If it's not broke, what?
Don't fix it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay then, anyone else? I agree. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just witnessed consensus. Committee reports. Ms. Maskell, Audit Committee.
Yay. This is my last Audit Committee report. It's going to be super long. We haven't had any meetings, and we're not going going to meet again until after I'm not on the board, so I turn it over to anyone that is currently sitting on the board that wants to be the audit committee chair. It's the coolest committee that we have, so I think that people should be in line to talk to Jane about doing that. But it's great. It's a huge learning experience, especially for me. I always tend to fall asleep during the business and audit stuff, so I really had to wake up and learn a lot of things. Jane's really patient. She has a way of explaining things that make sense, and you know, her knowledge is obviously way beyond mine, but she kind of dumbs it down for me, and it makes it all work. So I hope someone here would maybe be not here, but over there, the audit committee chair. And you know, if you're looking for public members of the audit committee, you can put an ad in the paper.
Mr. Mooney, facilities?
Everything that was spoken earlier about the capital project is pretty much what we had. Unfortunately, we're we're a victim of the time. So at least we got the contract with SNL. We've worked with them in the past, and we have a very good working relationship. So I look forward to continuing that relationship with them, and hopefully we can go out to rebid in a time that's more conducive to more people and more competition, so we can get better pricing.
Batting cleanup, Dr. House.
Hey, policy all the way. Yeah, we met and we will meet again, and I will not be the chair, but I will probably be there when I can, because I love policy, and I think Sue Gage, if it's the will of the board, will take over as chair, and so we will connect as needed. It's really been a great pleasure. I mean, when I got on the board, it was like, okay, well, what does a board member do? And what do we actually have power over and control over? And really, it's hiring and firing and evaluating the superintendent, and it's setting policy for the district. And so I'm really proud of the processes that we've put in place. I think we've really set a great, and this wasn't just the policy committee, but also with the community engagement committee, right? We've really set in place that we make these decisions, about the people we're making the decisions about are the people we want to include in the decision-making process. And so I would love to see some more students on the policy committee, and to really lean on maybe some of the government teachers to maybe give them credit for coming to the policy committee, because that's really where the sausage is made. And so I think we're in really good shape, and I just, look forward to staying engaged. And we're meeting again in July sometime, but you'll find out about the reorg meeting in July.
Thank you. Public recognition. Anyone from the public wishing to address the board, please approach the podium. Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to recess into executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Mooney. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Wills. Any discussion? On the meeting vote, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you so much.
Come out to adjourn the meeting after we have our discussion, so we're not going to vote on any items, but thank you again for coming out.
Congratulations on tenure.
whenever you're ready.
We're not ready yet.
Yeah, we just need one. No, you're part of the board.
Let me get Bob.
Session.
So moved.
Any discussion? None being heard, I'll call for vote. All those in favor say aye.
I want a roll call vote. Sorry.
Big time, big time.
You know, when you do that, we have to do it, right?
Are you ready? No, I'm sorry.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
Is there a second? Any discussion? None being heard, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And Mr. Erceg is buying at the exchange for the next hour.
Nice.